Have you ever looked at your reflection and felt something was off? Like it wasn't just a reflection, but something more, something watching. I never gave it much thought before. Mirrors were just mirrors, ordinary, harmless, a part of everyday life. I had passed by them, glanced at them, adjusted my hair in them 1,000 times without a second thought. But that changed the night I got the emergency alert. That was the night I learned the truth. Mirrors aren't just reflections, and sometimes they look back. I had been up for hours, buried under textbooks, drowning in notes, trying to cram as much information into my brain as possible. The next morning, I had an exam, one I wasn't prepared for. No matter how much I studied, my laptop screen flickered in front of me, its glow the only light in my otherwise dark room. My fingers trembled slightly, a side effect of too much caffeine and too little sleep. My body begged for rest, but my mind wouldn't shut up. I ran a hand through my hair, sighing. The words on the screen were blurring together, my vision swimming. Maybe I just needed a break. Just a quick one. A splash of water on my face. Maybe brushing my teeth. Something to wake me up. That's it when it happened. A vibration. A short, sharp buzz from my phone, barely noticeable over the quiet hum of my laptop's fan. At first I ignored it, probably just another spam notification. But then the screen lit up, the glow casting eerie shadows across my cluttered desk. I reached for my phone absent-mindedly, my toothbrush already in my mouth. As I walked toward the bathroom, I unlocked the screen without thinking, glancing at the message. Emergency alert. Cover all mirrors immediately. Do not look into any reflective surfaces. Do not attempt to interact with your reflection. I frowned. What? My groggy brain struggled to process it. An emergency alert? Like an Amber Alert? A weather warning? But why mirrors? I blinked at the words, my thoughts sluggish. Then, out of instinct, my eyes flicked up, and my reflection wasn't set brushing its teeth. I felt it instantly. That horrible sinking feeling in my gut, like stepping off the last stair when you weren't set expecting it. My body stiffened. The toothbrush was still in my mouth, the bristles pressing against my teeth. But the other me, it was just standing there, watching, unmoving. A chill crawled up my spine, slow and suffocating. My hands turned clammy, my skin prickling with cold. The bathroom suddenly felt too small, too quiet. The air pressed against my chest, thick and heavy. I should have looked away. I should have backed out of the room, turned off the light, done anything but what I did next. I stared, because something inside me needed to be sure. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe this was my brain playing tricks on me after hours of studying. But then, the reflection tilted its head, and I didn't third. A sharp jolt of terror shot through me. My body reacted before my brain could catch up. I stumbled backward, my hips slamming into the bathroom counter. The toothbrush slipped from my fingers, clattering into the sink. My breath hitched, my pulse pounded against my ribs, hard enough that I swore I could hear it. The reflection still didn't move. It didn't copy my panic. It just stood there staring at me, its head still tilted at that unnatural angle. Buzz. My phone vibrated again, the sound making me flinch. I tore my gaze away from the mirror just long enough to glance at the screen. Rulers to stay safe. 1. Do not look into the mirror. 2. So over all reflective surfaces. 3. If you see your reflection move, do not react. 4. Do not let it out. My stomach twisted. The words blurred together, my hands shaking too much to hold the phone still. I needed to cover the mirror. That was the logical thing to do, right? Just cover it. Just stop looking. I took a shaky breath and forced my feet to move. A slow, careful step forward. Another. I reached for the towel hanging beside the sink, my fingers trembling. That's when my reflection smiled. Not a normal smile. Not my usual lopsided grin. This was something else. It stretched too wide. Showed too many teeth. A grin that wasn't mine. Like it had been waiting for me to notice. I grabbed the nearest towel, heart hammering against my ribs, and threw it over the mirror. The fabric slapped against the glass, falling in uneven folds, covering it completely. Then, I took a shaky step back. Then another. I kept my eyes locked on the covered mirror, as if expecting anything to move underneath. Silence. And then, a whisper. Low. Close. Too close. You covered the wrong side. My stomach lurched. And then it laughed. Loud. Wrong. The kind of laughter that shouldn't exist. I turned on my heel and ran. I don't remember how I spent the rest of the night. I sat there, on a cold metal bench at the bus stop. I didn't move. I didn't think. I just existed. Then, finally, the sun rose. As soon as it did, I stood, and I entered my house. The countdown on my phone hit 0. A final message flashed onto the screen. The mirror is safe for now. Do not speak about what you saw, it remembers. I hesitated. Step by step, I crept back toward the bathroom, my breath shallow, my pulse drumming in my ears. I reached for the door handle, my palms slick with sweat. I pushed it open. The mirror was normal. Just a mirror. No scratches. No handprints. No bulging glass. No sign that anything had ever been wrong. I almost convinced myself that I'd imagined it. That it had been a nightmare, a hallucination brought on by exhaustion and paranoia. Almost. Until I lifted my phone. Until I opened the camera. And in the reflection behind me, something grinned. It's been a week. I haven't looked into a mirror since. Not in the bathroom. Not in my bedroom. Not even in the reflection of a darkened window. But I can feel it. Watching. Waiting. And last night, somewhere between the panic and the running, I had pulled out my phone, maybe to check the time. Maybe just for something familiar. Something normal. But I had swiped too far. The camera opened. For less than a second, my screen reflected my face. And in that second, I swear, I saw my reflection move. Before I did. Our new home is the first home I have lived in that is not scary or creepy. Before we moved, I lived with my boyfriend in his grandparents' home, deceased. From the bed, we could see the hallway mirror. The first time I slept over at his place, we were relaxing in his bed. The bedroom door was open. I thought nothing of it at the time. Then I caught movement out of the corner of my eye in the hallway mirror. It was something short, about the size of a medium dog, round brown, with 4 legs, sprinting down the hallway. I turned my head to look toward the hallway. Then I looked at him. He was looking toward the hallway too. "Did you see it?" he asked me. "Yeah, what was that?" "I do not know." He shut the bedroom door. Then he confessed to me that it was something he saw regularly in the hallway mirror. He had been in denial since nobody else saw it. He convinced himself it was an optical illusion or something, until I saw it too. The house always made strange, random noises when I was alone. But I never felt like I was alone. I always felt like I was being watched and despised. I do not know how he lived there alone for so long. He told me he would keep the TV loud and ignore the feeling of company that was not there. We kept the bedroom door shut at night because whenever we left it open, we would see that thing dashing down the hallway in the mirror. No idea what it was. I am not going to tell you my name. If you recognize the way I talk from my old videos, keep it to yourself. I do not want any more messages. I do not want any more theories. I just need to get this out. And then I am done with social media. Back in 2017, I was a YouTuber. Not a huge one, but I pulled in good numbers. Hundreds of thousands of views. Sometimes millions. If you were watching overnight challenges, urban exploration, or anything that involved sneaking into abandoned places, you might have seen my videos. It was all fake. That is what I want you to believe. That is what I need you to believe. I was always careful. I planned every video like a heist, research, entry points, escape routes. But in May of 2017, I got cocky. I wanted something bigger. Something that would go viral. 24 hours in an abandoned mall. It sounded perfect. I found the Cove Plaza shopping mall, closed in 2013. Mostly intact. No official security. Just a few cameras that did not work. I brought my gear. A flashlight, a night vision camera, some food, and a battery pack. I was ready. At least I thought I was. I got in through a service door. The inside was exactly what I wanted. Dust-covered tile floors, shattered skylights, and dead silence. I started filming immediately, playing up the creep factor. And then I saw them. Mannequins. Not just a few hundreds. Stores that had been picked clean. Still had them. Naked, broken, posed in unnatural ways. Some with missing limbs, others vandalized. A few were arranged in groups, like they were mid-conversation. I joked about it on camera. Something about how this was the real mannequin challenge. I even moved a few, positioning them in weirder poses for later shots. I should not have touched them. By 2 a.m., I was settled in the food court. The air smelled stale, like old grease and mold. I was filming a menu that was still lit up when I heard footsteps. Not the echo of my own. Someone else's. I killed my light. Silence. Then, a faint plastic scrape. I turned my camera toward the sound, slowly raising the brightness. The mannequins had moved. Not a lot. Just a few inches. But I knew where they had been before. I checked the footage. One near the escalator had its arms at its sides 3 hours ago. Now, one hand was reaching forward. I laughed. I was nervous. But I convinced myself it was nothing. Maybe I bumped it earlier. Maybe my memory was bad. I went back to filming. At 3:15 a.m., my camera shut off. The battery was charged. It should not have died. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The mannequins were closer. The one by the escalator was now on the first step. I do not remember getting up. I do not remember running. 1 second I was sitting, and the next I was at the other end of the food court, panting like I had just sprinted a mile. I was not alone anymore. Something moved in my peripheral vision. A head turned. Plastic slammed against the ground. I bolted. I did not look back. I did not stop filming. Not until I was outside, gasping for breath. My camera was still dead, but my phone had the footage. I never uploaded it. When I checked the files the next day, they were corrupted. Every single one. The only thing that remained was a still frame from the food court. A blurry shot of me, sitting on the floor. And something behind me. A mannequin. No head. No arms. Just standing there. I never went back. I stopped making videos. My channel died. Maybe that was for the best. I do not care if you believe me. Just do not go looking for Cove Plaza. They do not like being watched.